Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a bit of a different video. I have a tag, and if you haven't been able to tell by these, it is a Disney tag. I am a huge Disney fan. My husband and I go to Disney like probably on average around 4 times a year. We're Disney pass holders. By the way, we vlog all of our trips, so if you like vlogs, I'm going to put the link down below, and I will also put the link right here or here. I'm not sure, one of these. So I hope you check that out. Now, I may be a little bit late for this tag. I saw everyone was doing it back in 2016, but I think it is never too late for Disney. So without further ado, let's get into it. I have the questions right here on my phone, so I'm gonna go through them. The first one is a scene in a Disney movie you wish you could experience. This one is actually a pretty easy one. It's the carpet ride with Jasmine and Aladdin. I think that scene is magical. It's like everything. I mean, they're flying, they're free, it's so romantic, it's so beautiful. Because another thing about me, I'm like obsessed with deserts, and Agrabah seems such like a magical, mystical, perfect city. Everything like Arabian and ancient Egypt. I think it's so cool. So this scene was just perfection. Also, Aladdin is one of my favorite movies, but also my husband's is the one movie we share in common that is both of our favorites, Disney favorites. As a matter of fact, the first Halloween we spent together, we both dressed up as Jasmine and Aladdin. So that might be a little scary, I guess, flying on a magic carpet. That may not feel very safe, but I mean, we're just dreaming here, so I think, yes, that would be my perfect scene to recreate. The second question is an unforgettable experience or moments you've had at the parks. Now, this is a hard one because we have had so many. It's hard to choose, but the first ones that come to mind is, well, one, the first time I went to Disney, and I'm gonna put a picture right here of the first time I went to Disney. I thought it was the most beautiful and magical place I had ever seen in my life. I was just in a fairy tale land. Like, I fell in love with Disney the first time I ever went. I felt, I think, what Disney intended you to feel as a kid, and then I feel the same thing as an adult. I get back to my childhood memories. So that was definitely a very memorable experience. Another one though that comes to mind is the day right after my husband and I got engaged. We did not get engaged at Disney. We actually got engaged here in Miami, but we were going to Disney the next morning. And we actually didn't tell anyone we were engaged until the next morning when we went to Disney. And that was just a very, very beautiful, magical, memorable weekend. We put this picture right here on social media, telling our friends and family. Even though we had texted some of our family already, we share this with the rest of our family and the rest of our friends. And it was just such a beautiful weekend because we were getting such loving messages all weekend long. We were at Disney. It was during the Food and Wine Festival. We were having so much fun. We actually met up with a group of our friends there. I am also gonna put that picture here, and they were just so excited for us too. It was just a lot of fun. It was a very memorable weekend. We were just ecstatic to be engaged, and we were feeling the love from so many people, and we were at the happiest place on earth. So it was just perfect weekend. So I would have to say those two were my most memorable up until now, but who knows what the future will bring. Okay, next question is, what non-Disney song reminds you or brings back memories of Disney and or the parks? That's a tough question, but the first one that comes to mind is True Colors by Phil Collins. And I think one of the reasons is because I love the song You'll Be in My Heart is from Tarzan, and that's by Phil Collins. So I feel like his voice I sort of associate with Disney. But also I love that song, True Colors. And I remember listening to it one time on the radio, True Colors by Phil Collins, and I was kind of reminded of the feeling of Disney. So every time I hear that song, and yes, I do have a station put on my radio that, you know, plays older songs, I think of Disney, so I think I'm gonna pick that one. But also there's another one, Desert Rose, and I don't really know why that one reminds me of Disney. It just kind of does, but I think it has something to do with, again, with deserts and Aladdin, like the mystery, the mystical side of that story. The next question is, when was the first time you went to a Disney park? Well, you just saw a picture of that, and I was actually 10 years old, so not too young, but young enough to appreciate the magic of Disney. And as I said, that was a magical trip because I just couldn't believe such a beautiful place existed in the world. I was obsessed with this Disney balloon that I got. I'm gonna put a picture right here. It was like a Mickey balloon, and I was just carrying it around the whole park, and I just couldn't be happier. I was, you know, when they say you're like a kid at a candy store, no, I was like a kid at Disney World. And as I said, I think that's when my love for Disney began, and I've just been wanting to go back and back ever since, and I'm still wanting to go back and back every year, twice, 3, 4, 5 times a year. The next question here is, if you could choose any Disney character to be your best friend, who would you choose? Well, the obvious answer here for me is the genie from Aladdin. I think he is one of the coolest characters in Disney history ever. But I am gonna choose some princesses too. And number one would be Belle, because I think her personality and mine are very much alike, so I think we would get along great. I mean, Belle is just like amaze bomb. And number two would be Anna from Frozen, and I think she just has such a fun, innocent, spunky personality. I think her and I would get along just great. Next question is, who are your favorite Disney princesses? Well, I feel like I sort of just answered this because, well, number one, Belle. I was obsessed with Belle when I was a little girl. There was a time in my life, and I don't even know if I should be telling you this because you're gonna think I was crazy, but I kind of was, but still am. I would watch Beauty and the Beast every night. I mean, I was like 10, 11, 12. I was very young, but I loved that movie, but I especially loved Belle. You know the song at the very beginning of the movie, and they're just saying what a weird, funny, different girl she is, like she doesn't quite fit in. I totally felt like that was me, and I feel like Belle would be a very relatable character for a lot of people because she's so complex. Like, there's not just one thing she wants, there's not just one thing she seeks or does. There's so many layers to Belle, and she's different. She's the one character that is known for being the different one, the odd one, the one that doesn't fit in. And I feel like a lot of people are like that, and well, I know I'm like that. I didn't feel like I fit in, especially at that age when I was like in middle school. I was like the odd one, the funny girl. So I would say throughout my childhood, Belle was my role model, and to this day she is the one princess that I can relate to most. So she's like my number one favorite. And also there's another thing, this one is a little more silly, but I felt like I looked more like her than any other princess because we both have like the darker hair and the darker eyes. So yeah, that too. As I mentioned as well, I also love Anna from Frozen. I think she's like a bit of goofy and a bit awkward, and I also think that's me. And another one I'm gonna mention is Rapunzel. I just think she's really funny, really cute, and has a great personality. She makes me laugh. The next one is, name a scene, moment in a Disney movie that never fails to make you cry. Well, okay, I'm a crier. I'm a very emotional person, so I cry a lot in movies. But the obvious ones that come to mind is one, Bambi, and obviously the scene when they kill his mom, and that's just heartbreaking. I always cry during that part of the movie. The other one, Lion King, when they kill Mufasa, Simba's just like, Dad. Let's take a moment here. That's a very heartbreaking scene. But there's another one that always makes me cry, and this is not a super popular movie, is The Fox and the Hound. And the scene where the old lady, when the old lady is taking the fox away because she can no longer keep the fox, and there's like a really sad song playing in the background, and the old lady is crying. Oh my god, just thinking of that scene makes me want to cry right now. That's why I kind of refuse to watch that movie. I can't. It just breaks my heart. I can't. I can't. Next, what is the first Disney movie you remember seeing? Well, the first one that I remember more clearly was Little Mermaid. And I remember I was very little, but I loved the movie. Like, I was a little girl, but I remember I fell in love with it. But I'm pretty sure I saw Snow White before that. I just have pretty vague memories of Snow White, but I'm pretty sure I saw Snow White before. So I'm gonna go with Snow White. I think it was Snow White. Next question, what is your favorite Disney movie? Gosh, where do I begin? Well, I already said Aladdin, and I already said Beauty and the Beast. And I'm just gonna stick with those two because if I go on, I think I'm gonna pick like way too many. Let me just stick with those two, Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. I just love those two movies. Those are my top two. But believe me, the list goes on because I love so many Disney movies. So we would be here for a long time. So let's just stick with those two since I already mentioned them. Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. I would say Beauty and the Beast is number one and Aladdin is a very close second. Okay, the next one, who is your favorite Disney villain? And gosh, this question is really hard. Like, I'm gonna go with the Evil Queen. And I gotta tell you that I started falling in love with the Evil Queen after Once Upon a Time, the TV show, came on TV. She was so awesome in that show, and I just fell in love with the Evil Queen. I don't know if I loved her that much in the original movie, like Snow White, but I definitely fell in love with her after Once Upon a Time. And I also really love her at Disney World. Like, we go every year now during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween, and I just love her. She looks so kick butt. I love her. Next question, what is your least favorite Disney movie? That's tough because I like most Disney movies. Even if I don't love them, I kind of still find some joy watching most of them. Well, I will say that some of the sequels weren't very good. There's like The Little Mermaid 2 and there's Cinderella 2. Some of the sequels just, I mean, I would watch them once, but I wouldn't care to watch them over and over. And okay, well, I'm gonna pick The Fox and the Hound, and I just talked about that one. And the reason I'm picking that one as the least favorite is because yes, there are some really sad scenes, but I feel like it doesn't have the happy ending that at least Disney usually goes for. I just didn't think the ending was happy and it left me feeling very sad. Mind you, I have that movie, it's in my collection, but I just refuse to watch it because it just doesn't give me a happy feeling. It leaves me feeling like down. Okay, so I had some serious camera issues and I had to take a break from filming, but I'm back, everything is good, and let's pick up right where I left off. The next question is, what is your favorite Disney song? I actually have a few, but I can pick a top three. And the first one is A Whole New World. Again, Aladdin is one of my favorite movies, but this song is just perfection. You know, it's a song about finding yourself, about finding freedom, about just doing what your heart desires. What do you want to do? Figuring it out. Seeing the world. But also, it's very romantic. I mean, it's not just you by yourself on a carpet, but it's someone showing you the world. It's just perfect. The other song that I actually really like is the one from Frozen, Let It Go. And also it's another song about being free and finding yourself. It has a very catchy tune, but I also think the lyrics are amazing. So there's A Whole New World, Let It Go, and the other one I would have to say is Colors of the Wind. That song always gives me goosebumps. I think it's the perfect song for the perfect scene. Next, what Disney character or characters has your personality or has your dream personality? Well, this is an easy one. Again, I would have to say Belle. She's the one that doesn't fit in with the norm and what people consider to be normal. And she really doesn't care what people think. I think Belle is a combination of so many qualities, yet you know she's not perfect, but she has so many great qualities to her. And I think a lot of people can relate to Belle because of that. And also, I would have to say Anna, because I think she's like funny and nice, but at the same time she's pretty awkward and she gets in all these weird situations. Yeah, also me. So I think I can relate to those two, but definitely more with Belle. She's my girl. Next question. If you could change any scene in a Disney movie, what would it be and why? Okay, I guess I feel like I'm picking on this movie, but I guess it would be The Fox and the Hound again. Now, let me say this. I haven't seen the second part of The Fox and the Hound, but I felt like the first one left a lot to be desired, especially the ending. I'm not going to tell you what it is in case you haven't seen it, but I just felt like it wasn't a happy ending. It wasn't like a Disney happy ending. As I said, I just felt like it left me feeling empty. Not empty, that's a little dramatic, but just sad and kind of like down. It didn't give me the boost, happy feeling that Disney movies usually give, because it was sadness after sadness after sadness, and at the end I just felt like it wasn't like a happy ending. It was like a semi-happy ending, but I think it could have been better. And I guess that life is not, oh, a happy ending, that everything happens like that, but you're watching a movie, you're watching a Disney movie, at least me, I expect it to give me that happy feeling, because I got enough issues with real life. I like to watch happy movies to get a happy feeling. If you've seen the movie, please leave me a comment down below and tell me if you felt the same way. I don't know, I would love to know other people's opinion on that. And the last question in this tag, if you had to get stuck on any Disney ride at a Disney park for more than 30 minutes, what would you want it to be? Okay, I'm gonna say Spaceship Earth. And the reason is, well, that's one of the rides I would go on since I was a little girl. And a little girl, I mean the first time I went to Disney when I was 10 years old, I went on this ride. And I kept wanting to get off the ride and walk around. It just seemed like one of those really cool rides that you would want to walk around. And I'm guessing if you get stuck in a ride, you would have to get off and walk around to get off, I imagine. So I would love to get off and walk around on Spaceship Earth. I love history, and two of my favorite time periods are in this ride, which is the Renaissance and the Roman Empire period. I would just love to get off and just spend more time looking at them, analyzing their setups. And also, this is gonna sound super silly, but when I was little, I would see the whole Egyptian part. I know they have like some desert, like if you're inside a pyramid. I always wanted to get off and go inside that pyramid space. Now mind you, I know if I get off and go inside, there's probably like just lighting and just nothing, but I think it would just make me happy to stand there and stand in all these different time periods. You know what I'm saying? Is that a little weird? Which one would you guys choose? Okay, so I am tagging all of you to answer these questions. If you're watching this video, you're tagged. So if you have a YouTube channel, please make a video and make sure to leave me your link down below. I would love to watch it. And if you don't, just copy and paste the questions and answer them down in the comment section. I would love to read them. I love Disney tags. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I will see you on the next one. In the meantime, take care, be good, ciao.